Okay, there we go. Man, this is so frustrating. I think it's because I unplugged my laptop last night and plugged it back in, and all my audio didn't get put right back together. I don't know. Anyway, all I was saying is I'm writing a blog post, and I was working on it earlier, and I thought, hey, I should just let everybody watch because that it makes me productive when I know that yeah, things are working nicely. It looks like you're all about 15 seconds behind me, which is a real bummer. It'd be really nice if you were just like right there, so that when you say, hey, there's no sound, I could fix it right away. But yeah, it is what it is. So this is a blog post that I have currently, Write Fewer Longer Tests. It's a great blog post. You should all take a look. And coming down here at the appendix, I added this just at the end because I knew a lot of people were going to have problems like with the ACT thing. And I thought, well, if you write fewer longer tests, then you'll have fewer problems with ACT. And so I'll explain why here. But I find myself sending people to this blog post quite a bit to show them and tell them to look down at the appendix. And I thought, it'd probably just make more sense to tell them to go to a specific blog post for a specific reason or like to answer their specific question. And it'll maybe do better with SEO when people do a search for the warning that they're going to get. And so therefore, instead of being passed to this big thread, which actually I think the number one is this one. No, this is the number one. But there is another one that is even bigger, and that's the one I picked up first, actually. So, that's interesting. Oh, no, this one. It's huge, and what you're looking at is actually not all of it, because they're like, where is it? GitHub, yeah, 122 hidden comments. They're not even showing you all of what's on here. So instead of landing on a enormous thread like this, they could land on my blog post, which explains exactly why they're seeing it, the fact that it's not a problem with React, but that they're doing something incorrect in their test, they're missing something, and how to fix that problem. So that's the idea. Yeah, let me just check out comments here before I get started. Looks like people are happy about the hat. It's Iowa Caucus Day, so I am representing. I'm excited for Andrew Yang to shock the world today in Iowa. My hope is that Andrew Yang just does so well in these primaries that the DNC just can't not give it to him, because I have a feeling that the DNC is only interested in nominating an establishment candidate, and that's super annoying to me. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to get much further into politics. I just wanted to sport my Yang Gang hat here. Okay, cool. So I've just got a bunch of issues up here. I don't think I really need to go through them. I know exactly what people are going through. Like most of these people are either using my testing library or Enzyme, and so I know what they're going through. And yeah, I actually started writing this, and like I said, I already have this. I'm going to actually rip this out and put it onto a new blog post, and then I'm making a few changes and going to add a different example and stuff like that. So that is what I'm currently working on. Let me bring over my VS Code stuff over here. Right there. And this one's actually unique. I've never done this before, but I'm going to write my tests directly in the project. And these tests will run with my test suite for my website. But what's cool about that is I'll know if I ever actually break these tests somehow in the future, and that means my blog post needs to be updated. So I'm just going to copy paste this to my blog post when I'm done, and that way I know that the code in my blog post is also going to work, and so people won't give me issues and say, hey, this doesn't work, because I know it does. I came across those threads last weekend and on your blog post. That's right. I'll just make it easier so you end up on my blog post first. Okay, cool. So I like to make my examples as simple as possible, and so people can adapt it to their situation. And here we've got a greeting component that just asynchronously loads the greeting. And so a lot of people will just separate these two tests. They'll say, okay, let's first verify it says no greeting, and then we'll verify the greeting that it says. So in two separate tests. So let's do that one first. So yeah, displays no greeting when they're or while loading the greeting. Okay, so then we're going to screen get by text no greeting. Okay, cool. Save that, and we get our act warning. Exactly what we're looking for. I'm going to need to come up with a way to hide this so that it doesn't show up in my logs when I'm running the test, because that would be super annoying. Yeah, it looks like we're getting a failure though, because it's not displaying no greeting, which is fascinating. Oh, because I'm doing it the wrong way. Got to get those ternaries right. Sweet. Okay, there we go. And then we'll have another test, displays the greeting once loaded. I think I may need to change my example. So we'll see. Hello world, and oh yeah, we're gonna do find by text. We'll await or async. Async, and then await, and there it is. Okay. Yeah, so the reason I'm thinking I need to change this example is because it may be a little too simple. I want people to be able to relate this to like the reason that they see this error, and often the reason that they see the error is because a user did some interaction. They clicked on a button, and then an API call was made or something, and all that you're doing in your test is you're making sure the user clicked on the button, the API call was made, but you're not verifying what happens after that API call is made. Like there's a state update somewhere or something. So yeah, let's instead have a let's see. Yeah, actually there was a situation I had in my bookshelf app where there was something like that. Let me just take a look at that really quick and see if that gives me a little inspiration. So we've got, just pop all these open. Okay, cool. So yeah, that one's just quick. What I'm looking for is something that happens at the end where I'm waiting for some asynchronous thing to happen. So here, yeah, that's not quite gonna do it for me. What is this, the list? Yeah, that one's pretty simple. And yeah, that one won't do it. This is regular JavaScript stuff, no React in that one. This one's really simple. Probably shouldn't even have a test, honestly, but here we go. Wait for the error message. Yeah, this one actually is pretty tricky. I might want to do a blog post just about this one. So here we have like a star rating system, and you choose one and it just optimistically updates, and then if the update is successful, then it just doesn't, there's no indication to the user when the update was finished, or if there's a failure, then it will show an error, but other than that, there's no indication to the user about the status of the promise, because it's just an optimistic update. And so with that one, we have to do some fancy stuff. So first we're skipping debounce time, so we're using just use fake timers. But then after the update list function is called, like that's all you might think you need to wait for. But no, actually we also need to wait for the response to come back. And the reason for that, there's nothing visible in the DOM that changes, but there is something in state that changes. So here, let's take a look at that. I might be able to use something from this. Oh, I haven't pushed that yet. I have, oh, it must be in a branch. Anyway, I'm getting a phone call in one of my tabs here. It is from an unknown number. So let's just get that call screened. I figured out how to make my phone automatically screen calls, but my my computer doesn't do that. So okay. Oh yeah, they hung up. That's what happens. And this is why I automatically screen calls. Maybe I should just automatically send them to voicemail instead. That way they have a chance to leave a voicemail. Because otherwise it like just reads me the what they say, the transcript of what they say, and if I'm not paying attention, then I miss that. And then if they can't send a text for some reason, then I'll never get it, get contacted by that person, which, I mean, how bad could that really be? So, okay. When we select one of these stars, we do we run the run function, and yeah, this is using use async. And after that happens, oh, that's interesting. Where do we get that initial state? Value is the rating value. Where is that coming from? Rating value. Oh wait, no. The list item. There we go. Okay, so it's a property on the list item that gets updated. And so like if you were testing implementation details, then you would like verify that the list item rating was actually updated. But that's because it's an optimistic update. There's no actual change there. Hold on a second. Let's find this update rating, update list item. Wait, this is cool. Thanks, GitHub. Yeah, we just do a put. And we get our data back, and that's when it updates in this state, in the store. So, and I'm actually going to be changing this with React Query a bit, I think. So, anyway, the data itself does not get updated. Yeah, okay, so the reason this works is because it's not controlled. That's right. So we have a default checked, but we don't have a checked for these radio buttons. Yep. So there's no visual updates. There is a state update that we could wait for. The thing that I want to avoid is it's few and far between that you actually need to do something like this where you're waiting a fake response from a promise when you're waiting for that. That's like, it's not very often that you need to do that. So and it's and the only reason we have to use act directly is because we're doing that. And so I want to avoid showing that in the blog post, and I just want to say, hey, let's actually wait for the UI to be stable, I guess. So what if we have some sort of like button you click and it Yeah, and it makes an API call, and that's where lots of people will stop, is they just say, oh, it made the API call, so we're done. Yeah. Oh, I just barely saw Hubert's comment about Ionic framework. They don't use styled components. If that's your only regret, that's actually surprising to me. That's yeah. So Ionic is, I don't know. I haven't used Ionic in a very long time. It's been years. And if I'm building a React app, then I want something that's built for React, not just like built with their stencil thing and then compiled to React stuff. I don't know. But ship what you need to ship. I guess I'm not going to use it. I personally prefer Reach UI. They're doing some really awesome stuff over there, so give that stuff a look. Okay, let's take a look at some of these other tests. I think I'm starting to come up with a pretty good idea. This is a custom hook. Yeah, okay, so that's all of our tests from here. So I think what I'm gonna do is the user clicks a button, it makes a call, and we don't verify the UI that updates based on that. So yeah, let's do something like that. So when the user clicks, we don't need to display like saved or anything. We just display the new value, I guess, or maybe we will display saved or something like that. So maybe the user types in their name, they hit the save button, and then maybe there's like a spinner that shows up, and then that spinner goes away. And the thing that people will typically forget is to verify that the spinner goes away and wait for that to happen. Because if they do wait for that to happen, then this act warning won't show up if they're using React Testing Library. Otherwise, they may not. So we've got Eli from Ionic. Hey there, Eli. So you and Hubert can chat about Ionic. Okay, cool. So let's do function username form, and we'll return a form, and we'll have a label username and input with the ID username and HTML4 username, and then a button submit type submit, and then I have some state for status and error, and yeah, we'll just do status and error, and we'll have our state initialized to status. What's the like pre-pending, like before? Shoot, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not loading. It's not. Starts with an S. What is that word? It's not pending. It's not resolved. It's not. It's unstarted. Oh shoot, I don't know. What is that word? Well, we'll just start out with nothing. And then our error null. And yeah, okay. So then React, or we'll make a function called handle submit. That'll take the event, and it'll say event.prevent default, and on submit handle submit, and new username is going to be event target elements. So this is the form. These are the elements of the form, and we want the username. We're getting that by its ID value, and then we can say here. Let's get rid of this stuff. I know I'm going to get rid of this. So that state status, or actually, yeah. Status is loading. And status, or here we'll say it's pending. We'll make this async. Sure, why not? I normally don't do stuff like this in event handlers. I prefer to do it in use effects and stuff, but maybe I'll change it. And resolved and rejected. Put that in try catches. This E. That's her. There we go. And we'll await a call to function called update username. Username earn promise resolve. Here, and actually update username. There we go. We'll accept it as a prop. I think people will be able to do that. That'll make sense. So wait, update username with the new username. And then we'll have a status is pending and ... otherwise no. So that's our loading indicator. And we'll put this in a div or span. So it can be right next to our button. Okay, cool. And then if there's an error, span error or status rejected. Oh no. Oops, there we go. Okay, cool. And I will just say error.message. There we go. Cool. Okay, so now we're going to make a test here that says submit or calls state username with the new username. We'll render our thing. And we want update username to be handle update username. Go. And that's going to be a jest function. The only reason we're doing this and not separating it into a module is just to keep it all in one file. Otherwise, I have to make a bunch of files. When you just asked streaming, yes, what you are watching is a live stream, indeed. All right, so now that we've done that, then we can say, hey, screen, why don't you get by label text the username? And I'll say, and we'll just say value, or let's see, we're gonna want to fire an event here. Or even better, let's use user event. We're gonna update npm really quick just so I never see that again. That's super annoying. Npm install, and yeah, we want to save that. So it'll be testing library user event import. I can't remember user event. I think it's import star. Import user. Oh, it's import default. All right. Or user event from testing library user event. User. We'll just call it user. No, event. Nope, user. I like user better. Okay, so we're gonna say, hey user. Username input. User event type. User input. Username input. Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, cool. Why am I getting a red underline for this? User event is not defined. Oh, that's right, because I changed it to user. All right. And then we're going to say user, click on the button. So screen, get by text, submit. Okay, we're going to click that. And then we're going to expect that our handle username, update username thing, to have been called with Sonic the Hedgehog. We're going to give this a variable name, fake username. Okay, we've been called with the fake username. Sweet, that's going to pass, but we're going to get the warning. And we're going to get the warning because we have not handled what happens after the username is updated. And to solve this, we need to make this test async because our component is async, and that's what I'm going to write about in the blog post. My son is watching Sonic just now on Netflix. LOL. Sonic, yeah, that's funny. Sonic the Hedgehog. Good stuff. I'm actually kind of looking forward to the movie, only a little bit. I'm not getting my hopes up, but I think it might be interesting. Okay, so yeah, to fix this, we're going to turn this to an async test. Here, and actually what we'll do here is I'm going to say just spy on console error or console error mock restore. Oh, and we need to mock the implementation. Mock implementation, do nothing. Oh, right, rats. This is because, dang it. Okay, fine. What we're gonna have to do is before all. I wonder if we can do it in a before each and an after each. I'm just mostly curious. I don't think it's gonna work. I think we had to do before all and before. Oh, it does work. Sweet. Okay, so we gotta disable this. Didn't mean to do that, actually. Yeah, who cares? I want to write consoles where I want. Aslant. I like to do it this way. Off. There you go. I format it like this. Doesn't that look nice? Okay, cool. So so this one's got the problem. And test calls update username. What? Somebody gave me 40 rubles. I don't know how much that is in US dollars, but I like the fox that's showing up. I don't know if you all can see this, so I'm going to show you. Isn't that cute? That was nice, Andy. Thank you. Yeah, so much love. Thank you. That's very nice. Calls update username with the new username. And I'm going to add with act warning. And here we'll make this async. We're going to do all the exact same things, except in this one, we're going to await, and we want to wait for our ... to go away. So we're going to come here, wait for element to be removed. And this is going to, it's going to wait until we no longer return an element, or we throw an error. So get by text ... And that'll be a screen. Get by text. There we go. And then, so if we get rid of those, and we'll get one warning. And let's just make sure that our second test doesn't give the warning. Yep. And the first test does. Ta-da! Sweet. All right. It's 63 cents. Thanks anyway. I mean, that's 63 cents more than anybody else is giving me on this stream. So thank you. I'll buy a Tootsie Pop, a Tootsie Roll or something. I'm not using Vim. Do you move the cursor with the arrow keys? I sure do. And I have my repeat rate set up really high so I can get around really fast with just this. Yeah, fun stuff. Okay, sweet. So I think I've got my example. I'm pretty happy with it. It's a pretty normal type of thing people are going to be building. So I think what I'm going to do is move this to the components file. We're going to import React from React. And actually, let's export username form. I'm thinking about also showing, oh, whoops, we're going to need import React from, whoa, what happened? Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. And let's get rid of this. That's what I meant to do. And we're going to import username form from components. Whoops. Okay, great. And let's turn this back on because I don't like getting that warning. Okay. So I also want to show, I want to explain to people why this act thing was necessary in the first place by showing, and why, like a lot of people blame hooks on this act thing. They're like, they released hooks and now all of my act warnings, and like, oh no. But I want to show people, okay, this same problem could happen with classes, and you could have, like if you don't check for this, then you could actually have a disaster and your test won't check for that. For example, let's say that we never set the state to resolved, okay? This means that our ... will never go away. The ... will stay there forever. And guess which test passes? That's right, the one that's not waiting for that to happen. Oh, and another thing I failed to mention, all of React Testing Library's functions, anytime you interact with React Testing Library, it's wrapped in act, and so you don't have to worry about act like 99% of the time. You shouldn't have to worry about act. So when you're doing wait for element to be removed, that's wrapped in asynchronous act. And so that's why that one doesn't give us the warning. But anyway, here's the problem right here. This test passes even though our component's busted because we're not waiting for that ... So that's a problem. Somebody's asking the difference between user event and fire event. So a user event is awesome because it uses fire event and it fires all of the events that a user would typically fire as they're typing. So key ups and key downs and all of that stuff and changes and that kind of thing. So it's closer to what actually the user will experience in the browser, which is why yeah, kind of recommend using user event. Yep. So yeah, so that's the bug, and I want to show that bug first in classes and be like, hey, listen, with classes you could have this problem. You could write a test that doesn't reveal a bug, and you wouldn't get any notice of it. Now you'll write a test that doesn't reveal the bug, but you'll get a warning about it. And so this is why it's so great that we have act, even though it's really annoying. So what I want to do is we're going to make a class, React component class. I never do this, but we're going to do it. Username form class is what I'm going to call it. We're going to do all the same stuff. So I'm going to do something also that I never do, and that is refactor a hook to a class. How disappointing is that? It's pretty disappointing. I never write classes. Okay, so we're going to do handle submit, which will be this thing, and we'll just take this, copy all that. We'll make it async. Async, is that how you do that? I can't remember. Pretty sure. That'll be an event. If we wanted it to be like a member method, then it'd be async foo, and that's how you'd write it. So the async goes over here, but because it's a public class field, then we put it on the other side of the equal sign, which makes sense, I think. But yeah, there's that. Okay, cool. So then this dot set state, and this dot set state, and this dot set state, and this dot props dot update username. And why is this giving me a warning? No unused state. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. We need to be this dot state dot error. Okay, boo on that. This is actually before. This is how I would write my class components. Yeah. This actually, because I would do all the destructuring up here at the top and then just use those variables down here, it made converting classes to hooks like way easier because I just grab all this and now it's variables and stuff. Pretty cool. Except for functions, I never destructured those. It was always just like this dot. But yeah, so we're getting some warnings on unused state, and we should, oh, here's status. Why is that not giving me a ESLint warning status? There we go. Well, thanks, ESLint. Okay, let's make our state initialize to the same stuff. This is, I need to figure out what that initial status should be. There we go. Promise state JavaScript. Wow. Okay. Okay. Pending, fulfilled, rejected. Let's change this from resolved to reject. Fulfilled. There we go. Wow. What is the word? It starts with an S, I think. It's not. It's like. I can't remember. Promise, fulfilled, rejected. It's not pending. It's like it's waiting. It's that settled is that, I think that's the word I was thinking of, but that's also wrong. Settled is like it's all done. It's waiting. That's what we'll call it. Just waiting. Okay. Whatever. That's fine. The word is idle. Idle. That's the word. Idle. Thank you so much. Props to you, MWM. Yeah, Sebastian, settled, I also thought, but that's like at the end when it's all done. This is like before it even begins. Man, this bothers me a lot. Do you see that green? Like that's, I've spent a lot of money to get like a really good setup, and I see like this green around me. I don't know what more to do about this. I think maybe, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm going to experiment with it a little bit more. I think it's just some lighting differences I need to make or something. But like if I turn the lighting up too much, then I get some really hot spots. Really the solution would be to put 2 more lights on the bottom so I could get more even coverage. But I've got everything mounted so I don't have to deal with this stuff. It's so frustrating. We'll figure it out. I mean, it's not that bad. Like the picture quality looks really good. It's just when I do this, you can see the green, and there's like just a little green outline around my, just a tiny bit. Yeah, it's enough to be super new. Especially if I'm just me, you can see it a lot more, huh? Yeah, I'm like green in the mountains. Yeah, no good. Recently noticed testing library React now included create React app. That's cool. Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, that's right. Everybody's using it. Actually, I haven't checked the download stats in a while. NPM trends. So let's look at testing library React. Now this doesn't, so if it were actually included in React scripts, then you'd see this explode like this. Babel plugin macros. So Babel plugin macros is another one of my libraries, and it was included by default in, oh man, how long ago was that? This feels like a steady climb, but there was definitely, was that over 2 years ago? I don't remember. There, npm stats, think.com. This will go for much further back. Do you have a light hair, or do you have a hair light? I do. You mean like that? Yeah, I do have a light that goes like over my head. I've got 2 of them coming down. I don't know. This is not the website that I thought it was, but maybe it'll show me what I'm looking for anyway. Babel plugin macros. From date. Let's go from 2016. Here we go. Wait, what? Did I press today? I pressed today. That was my bad. Okay. No, that is not right. This site was written in Angular. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just kidding. Total troll, total troll. Stats. And there it is, npm stat. This is the one I was looking for. Babel plugin macros from, we go, yeah, from forever ago to the future, I guess. Come on. Crunch those numbers. Anyway, there should be a huge spike here somewhere where Babel plugin macros was included in React scripts, which is what everybody's installing. React testing library was included in the template. And so if people upgrade, they still don't get React testing library for free. They have to actually install it, which is why there wasn't a huge significant bump. Anyway, that's all I was going to say. Okay, here we go. Yeah, there was no, like, I guess this is probably the bump right there. That's when it happened. I guess we did double our monthly downloads that month, so that's cool. Then we've been going up steadily ever since, which is cool. Anyway, so thanks. I don't see any green either. Well, that's good. Yeah, if you've got a small screen, like you've got to be able to see that. Like that's green. There's green on my fingers. But anyway, I'm glad that it doesn't look all that too bad for you. Okay, let's get back to the issue at hand here. We finally figured out what word we should use, and we've got handle submit, and that is working great. So here, check this out. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna say that as, save this, and boom, are you freaking kidding me? I literally just re-implemented a function component with hooks and swapped it out, literally 0 changes to the tests, and they still pass. That is really important. This is why a lot of people switched over to React Testing Library when hooks came out, because they're like, oh, wow, if I write my test with React Testing Library, then I can refactor to hooks, no problem. And my tests actually provide value to me, telling me that, yes, indeed, I did rewrite this test in a way that actually, or I did rewrite this component in a way that actually still works, because my test is verifying that. I think that's awesome. And I love React Testing Library for that. So that's cool, but check this out. To take it even further, we comment this out, and we're not getting any warnings, even though if we were to not write this test, and we only had this test, then we come over here, and we're like, oh, typo, no warning. But if you switch these and come here, typo, there is a warning. So this is why ACT matters, and this is why I'm writing this blog post. Okay, so given that, I'm now gonna come over here. I'm gonna say we're gonna yeah, we're gonna put just a line right here. We're gonna say, imagine you have a class component like this. And we're gonna, let's do this. Hopefully this works. This is the worst, by the way. I need to figure out my Gatsby situation, because MDX and importing components and stuff does not work for me very often. Okay, but what we want is to import both of these things. Import those from components. Okay, then we're gonna have a username form class. We'll use the class one, why not? Here's the code for that. And we're gonna have, what is it? Update username. And new username. Oh, we'll just say you. Alert. You typed you. Or we want to return a promise. So New promise, resolve. Updating the database. Did I even do that? I just got a text from my daughter's school. We have a snow day today, so yep, they're closing school today. They pushed it back 2 hours, and then they decided to close. But it works out nicely because my wife's parents are in town hanging out with us for a while, and they'll hang out with the kids. It actually works out really nicely that way. Okay, cool. So we're gonna save that. Here's the code for that. Okay, now here's the worst part about my whole development experience. Hey, what's up, Will Johnson? Welcome. Okay, I'm gonna actually tweet really quick at the Gatsby folks and let them know that I'm about to live stream the part of my site development that's the worst. Hey, Gatsby folks. For example, be interested. And team, I'm about to live stream my blogging workflow that is pretty bad in and I'd love help figuring out how to make it better. Feel free to watch if you're interested. Okay, cool. And all deps are updated as of like last week, I think. So anyway, if we npm run here, we've got a command for dev that runs all of my dev scripts, dev Gatsby develop, and this netlify lambda serve thing. I know I should be using the netlify CLI thing, but I haven't come around to feeling like I need to do that anyway. So npm run dev, run our Gatsby develop. We've got our netlify lambda for our serverless function stuff. That's what all that webpack garbage is. And then we are doing all the Gatsby stuff. I don't know what Gatsby does, but we are cached. I have built this pretty recently, and now I'm going to be waiting to generate my thumbnails, and I apparently have about a gajillion of them. I don't know why I have so many images. I have 150 blog posts, but I think it generates like just an insane amount of images for that. And I have like 3 permutations of this size. So I don't know, but yeah, it sure takes a long time. So we have 237 pages. I'm not sure why I have so many pages. I mean, I've got workshops, the blog post page. Yeah, okay. That the blog posts and the Chats with Kent is on there. So yeah, okay, that sort of makes sense. So my fans are starting to go, but I've got a beast of a machine. We're doing okay. 26 CPU memory. Wow, somebody's hogging my 64 gigs of memory. Gee whiz. Yeah, so that's interesting. And yeah, that's fun. You can see my local IP address. Don't hack me. Just kidding, you can't hack me with that. Or can you? Hide that. All right, so we're still in progress. This is going to take forever because we're generating all these images. It looks like I have 60,000, almost 70,000 images, or almost 61,000 images. So that's a lot. I don't know what this number means, but I'm guessing that means I have 420 out of 60,000 done %. I don't know. I'm confused by this. But like I have to wait this whole time. Like if I go to localhost 3000, I get nothing. Or wait, no, it's 8,000. 8,000. Yeah, still nothing. So yeah, this is already like a terrible experience. And I'd really love for it to not be a terrible experience. Nice to see you live, Somac. So my brother, he served a mission in Japan for 2 years of his life, and he said there's this part in Monsters Inc. where like they walk into this Japanese restaurant, and everybody in the restaurant says something in Japanese, and my brother said that it is like a greeting, like you live, you're alive, that's great. Anyway, that made me think of that. Yeah, Yang Gang. Yeah, so anyway, if anybody's Japanese or knows what I'm talking about, what is it that they say? Yeah, it's some Japanese thing. And he said that it was like you exist, you're here, you're alive, or something like that. Just like a greeting that they say to each other. Which I think is kind of fun. That's nice. Happy to have people be alive. Okay, still waiting for this thing. It's awesome, but it's not as awesome as it could be. I mean, this sure beats. I'll be honest. I definitely love this more than Medium. By like a country mile. I love that I'm able to just render React components in here. Like that's a huge, awesome thing. That I can be like, hey, this is a cool blog post, but I'm gonna just throw something in here. And yeah, I mean, it's no. Oh shoot, Amelia. Shoot, I don't know her last name or how to say it, but I believe her name is Amelia. Yeah, there she is. So yeah, this person's amazing. Wattenberger, that's her name. So if we look at her thoughts, like, talk about a cool blog post. What's wrong with me? I haven't written anything this cool. Or check this out. This one's awesome. You've got stuff flowing, and as you scroll, it gets like, whoa, isn't that awesome? Like, that's rad. See, I don't write blog posts like this. This is next level stuff. I mean, look at that. What? So gorgeous. You just hang out here just because it's so awesome looking. And then you stay because like the content's actually super good. I strongly recommend pretty much everything that Amelia creates. Really cool stuff. But yeah, so it's not that. But the fact that I can just get a couple things rendered is really great. Okay, anyway, while we're waiting for this to finish, see, this is what I'm talking about, Gatsby team. If you can like help me figure out why does it need to generate so many images, and how can we make it not do that? Because actually my builds on whether it's Gatsby Cloud or Netlify or now SH, they take upwards of 15 minutes and often more. So I don't even, yeah, I don't even know what to do about this. Didn't know about React testing lib screen. That's pretty new. It's like in the last month or two. Come across it. Yeah, actually, I didn't include it in my testing JavaScript course because it was released after testing JavaScript was updated. So sorry about that. But I am planning on. I mean, like the existing way that you use testing library is still works great. And so I don't need to update this immediately, but it is something that I do expect I will be updating eventually. So, oh, I just saved a file and now this is like, oh, I need to rerun stuff. I don't know. I don't know what it's doing, but it sure is annoying to have to wait this long. Okay, let me just check Twitter. I got a couple likes on that tweet where I asked the Gatsby team to come take a look, but nothing. Yeah, nothing here. Okay, just check in. Yeah, still nothing from Gatsby folks yet, but I mean, we can't really expect them to just spend all of their time checking Twitter. That would not be good. What a beautiful blog post. Yeah, that was I'm staying away from Gatsby, trying out Next.js as static export for my blog. We'll see. Yeah, have fun with that. I really like Gatsby because all of the plugins and stuff. There's very little I have to do to make it awesome, like really fast and really awesome. But yeah, it can be annoying at times. Yeah, why is this taking so? It's not even doing anything now. It's just not moving. Still in progress is what it says. But we'll keep on writing the blog post and just hope that this actually works. Okay. Here's the code for that. You were to do it with class components. Don't worry, a function version is coming later. Function version in the post. There you go. Yeah, Gatsby themes are cool, but I don't know any. Like I've actually not used any yet. They seem awesome though. Just don't want to be tied to GraphQL. All right, I can see that. GraphQL is pretty nice, but I can understand any reluctance to go full on GraphQL. Okay, cool. So after I finish with showing this, then I'm gonna say, so let's imagine we want to write a test for this. Here's what you might write to verify that the update or that the component is working properly. And then we'll come over here, grab this, and put that in a JavaScript block. We want this to be JSX actually. I should probably just make it so that it is always JSX. Yang GraphQL 2020. Yeah, GraphQL is pretty awesome. I like GraphQL. Okay, calls update username with the new username. And let's get rid of that. We don't need that right now. So we render here, and let's import render and screen from testing library React, and we'll import user from testing library user event. And let's go the whole way. Import React from React. There we go. We got all the things we need. Great. Here, and let's give it some white space so people can see. Okay, then we render it, and then we get our thing, and then we make our assertion. There we go. Great. So now, if we make some sort of typo and not pass the username, the new username, or we forget to call, or actually, and not call the update username function, or we forget to call it with the new username, then our test will fail and it provides us value. But what if we rewrite this to a function component with hooks? Let's try that. And then we'll come over here and we'll grab our function component, JSX, we'll paste that in. And cool. You suggest Relay or Apollo? I've used neither. So my experience with GraphQL has been when I was at PayPal, we used GraphQL. I can't ever remember if it's request GraphQL or GraphQL request. Yeah, this is the one, I think. Yeah. So this is what I used when I was at PayPal because we didn't have a whole lot of calls, and so this was way smaller than either one of those things. So I was happier with this. But if I were building like a big app, we really need, like we just had a bunch of GraphQL stuff going on, many mutations and stuff. I would investigate very heavily into Relay. I'm not super into Apollo as a company. I've seen some kind of shadier things that I'm not super into that company. I like some of the people who work at that company like a lot. I think they're really awesome people, and I wish that the company would treat them better. I'm not going to go any further into that though. So I would investigate really heavily with Relay. I also love that Relay and GraphQL and Suspense are all like really tightly integrated, and so yeah. I'm pretty sure that this is frozen at this point, so I'm going to cancel this. We're going to start it over again, and maybe like with the cache, some of that will be better. But see, this is my life right now with Gatsby, and I know it doesn't have to be this way. I know there's something wrong. I've done something wrong. I know that this is not what everybody else experiences with Gatsby. This is just me, and I don't know what I've done wrong. So I'd really love it if people could help. Yeah, the Gatsby team or somebody could help me figure this out. I'm willing to pay. Somebody wants to help me figure out what's going on with my site because it is a major pain. Okay, cool. So if we were to write this as a function component, let's try that. And the cool thing about React testing library is because it's free of implementation details, we can run those exact same tests with, hey, oh wait, no, it still says it's in progress. Bummer. The exact same tests with this refactored version of our component. So if we try that, unfortunately, if we try that, we'll get this error, or this really annoying warning in the console that looks like this. And go back up here, come over here, and save that. And here's our warning. Pull this over. Oh, we're so close. I'm not sure how well it's gonna treat this multi-line thing. So anyway, we'll copy that, bring it over here, and actually, well, paste that right there. I'm gonna want to grab this too. Okay, back up. There we go. It looks like it took care of that multi-line thing for me pretty well. Okay, so there we go. What the? So what's going on here? Well, you might not have noticed, but our test didn't test our component fully and left one important test our component's happy path fully and left one important aspect vulnerable to bugs, regression. If we check this out, okay, here we go. I'm gonna do this. And I want to do the class version so they can see that the classes are not going to get this benefit. And this is going to be JSX. Let's go back to the class version and comment out an important line of code. Okay, and we'll come down here, we'll paste that. Let's check out our other thing. If this, yeah, it still says it's in progress, but it's doing literally nothing. This is so annoying. Okay, I'm gonna close this. We're gonna open this up in a terminal. So because I think sometimes the integrated terminal doesn't work very well when displaying like that kind of thing. So I'm gonna just over. I want to make sure that I can see like all the status updates of what's going on. So it's running my queries. Queries don't typically take too long. Two. Come on, you can do it. Go, go, go. All right, queries are done in 8 seconds. It still says it's in progress though, and it's not doing anything. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna remove, or here, there's a Gatsby clean function or thing we can call that'll remove the cache and all that. We're gonna rmrf node modules.cache, get rid of that stuff, and then we're gonna run npm. Or actually, you know what? I'm gonna run npm. What is it? We've got run dev, npm run dev functions, and then npm run dev Gatsby. And actually, we'll just do the Gatsby. Gatsby develop. Just run that command directly. Hey Kent, love your nice and short articles. Thank you. Any plans on posting regarding better naming, functions, variables, organizing code? Are there any guidelines? I don't really have any plans for that specifically, but I mean, maybe. The thing is that, like, I don't think that you should really have super strong opinions about that. You just kind of move things around until they don't feel weird anymore. I don't know. I mean, I have some things that I do naturally that maybe I could write about, I guess. Okay, what's the issue here? Maybe some folks in the comments can help you figure out what the issue is here, because I want to continue writing my blog posts. We're at 2% generating image thumbnails. And remember, this is not cached anymore. I deleted the cache. So this could take some time. I just wish that it didn't need so many thumbnails. See, look, we've got way more thumbnails that we're generating. And that actually is a reasonable number, but this is going to go up to like so many. But while we're waiting for this thing to run and for all the queries to run and everything else, I'm going to come back here and we're just going to write our blog posts like we don't care. Determining test suites to run. Why is it doing that? Here, let's, we're going to trash this thing. We're going to open up a new thing and npmt to run these tests. There we go. Okay, let's go back to the class and comment out an important line of code. Why? Okay, let's close that. I think that we're done there. Okay, so the important line of code is this one right there. Boom. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Line 9. We'll highlight the 9th line. Guess what? With the way our tests still pass. And with this class, we get no warning. So that's not good. It would be nice if, but yeah, we gotta explain why it's a bad problem that the test still passes. But the ... loading indicator next to our submit button never goes away. And actually, let's make a version of our component that has this bug. So we'll come here, class with bug. Go down here, boom, save that. Come over here, we're gonna copy the same thing, grab it, and then come down here, and then come down here, render that thing with bug. Oh, you know what? Resolve. And back up here, we need to resolve that. I feel like we could write this more tersely. Promise resolve. That'll work. Save that sucker. Come down here and copy this. Yeah, that looks nicer. We don't actually care about what it's resolving with, so it doesn't matter. Okay, sweet. Oh no, it sure would have been nice if we'd had some warning that we weren't testing all that our component was doing, so we could have written a good test from the start. Wait, is that what act was yelling at us about? Yes. Ah, yes it was. Can you skip generating thumbnails in dev? Maybe, but I want to figure out why I'm generating so many thumbnails in the first place. Like, look, I've got 60,000 or 6,099 thumbnails. I just don't like, that seems more than I need, right? So I've got 150 blog posts ish. Each one has a banner, and then we've got 3 variations on the size. And let's say that we've got another. I've got workshops and images for chats with Kent and stuff. So let's say we even doubled that. I should still not have more than 1,000. I don't know. Something is weird about this. But actually, now that I think about that a little bit further, if we look at our public, where's public? Refresh this thing. Come down here to public. And we open up any of these. We got GIFs. Okay, so this is not going to be helpful. But I'm pretty sure that they actually make a couple versions of each one of these images, so maybe that's what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. But boy, is this like super annoying that it takes so long. So I'm actually thinking about using Cloudinary instead. And we just upload to Cloudinary when we build. I'm not sure what that experience is like when you're working locally, but I know that there's a plugin for this. But yeah, like, this just takes too long. And I've got like a monster of a machine, and my CI services do not have the resources that I dedicate to this stuff. So yeah, it's super annoying. Okay, cool. Yes, it was. So the act warning from React is there to tell us that something happened to our component when we weren't expecting anything to happen. So you're supposed to wrap every interaction you make with your component in act to let React know that I don't know, that we expect our component to perform some updates. And when you don't do that and there are updates, React will warn us that unexpected updates happened. This helps us avoid bugs like the one described above. I feel like this was funnily worded. Luckily for you and me, React testing library automatically luckily for you and me, React, yeah, React testing library automatically wraps all, well, this is not entirely true. Let me just verify some of my thinking here. So if we come here, yeah, right here, I need to run the tests. Hopefully we don't have any trouble. Okay, cool. So I'm back here. My assertion is, or I believe that the fire event stuff does not need, or when you dispatch an event onto a DOM node, that does not need to be wrapped in act. But we wrapped it in act anyway in React testing library, but I'm pretty sure you don't need to do that because React will do that. And so I'm thinking that we can say, let's not do the click here. And instead, we'll do a screen get by text submit, and then we're going to here, let's just call click. I don't think that'll work. Oh, it does. Yeah, but let's do a dispatch event anyway. Dispatch event new mouse event click bubbles true cancelable false. Yeah, see, so this is not wrapped in act, but when we do click, we are making updates to the component. We click and we make this update right here. So you would think, oh, well, that's an update, and so we need to wrap that in act. You don't actually. You don't need to wrap that in act, but we do anyway. I'm not entirely sure why, but we do. So that's something to know about. So here we gotta say, luckily for you and me, React automatically handles this for quick events, but or for any of your code that's running within the React call stack, like click events, where React calls into your code, which updates the component into your event handler code. Okay. But it does not handle, but it cannot handle this for async, for any code running outside of its own call stack, like asynchronous code that, I don't know how to spell asynchronous, asynchronous code that, that runs as a result of a resolved promise you are managing. But with those kinds of situations, you typically or if you're using just fake timers, and when you advance those forward, they need to wrap that. Yeah, that if you're using just fake timers, which need to be wrapped in act when you call just ants, for example. There we go. I'm pretty sure that's the API. Make sure. Oh. Hey, success. Nice. But I have a feeling there's a problem. Advance. Run all timers. Run all timers. Run all timers. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look at our thing here. We've got a warning. Was not found. User, yeah, okay. This is another thing that bothers me a lot. But you'll notice I just saved the one file, and now it's rerunning all the queries. Gatsby team, help me here, please. I don't know what's going on. Like that. This is so annoying. Here, look. I won't even change anything. Hit save. And okay, maybe not. We'll change something. Whoa, went all the way down to the bottom. Kinds of situations you typically need. Here, we'll hit save now, and we have to run all the queries again. Why? Why do I have to run all the queries? I just saved one file, and I'm running all the queries. And what's more, check this out. Okay, so here's, if you're on the Gatsby team and you're watching this right now, and you're like, what's the issue that's Kent having? I wonder. I don't know. Watch this. I'm gonna go to localhost 3000. Oh, 8000. Sorry. And we're gonna go to this blog post. And it's going to take forever, and it's going to take me to this white screen. This happens sometimes. I don't know what's going on. Look at that. This happens like all the time. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I know I'm doing something wrong. I know it's me. It's me doing something wrong. But this happens so much. It says it's successful. I don't know. I'm going to refresh. And now this also pops up sometimes. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm doing something wrong. Because I know not everybody experiences this with Gatsby, but I do, and it's really annoying. I don't know what's going on. Okay, actually this one is probably because I am importing this file. Right, yeah, and I forgot to export that. So that's my bad. But this kind of thing here, I'm going to show you here in a second with bug. Here we go. Save that. Come over here, and it should refresh. Boom, it worked. That was a miracle. This never happens. Now we're gonna, while I'm here, gonna say Kent submit. We get that, and there should be a ... I need to do a timeout for my promise. And okay, so there we go. There's the ... stays forever. No good. And that's the bug that our act friend is helping us avoid. Okay, but now watch this. I'm gonna make a change. Yeah, here we have a bug right now. We need to do this. So yeah, I need to rewrite this thing anyway. New promise resolve, that timeout, that, and then we're going to come here, have this alert right here, and then we'll do for 2 seconds, and then we'll resolve. And not promise resolve, just call resolve. There we go. And we'll do the same thing down here. I forgot. Yeah. Okay, save it. And it should just like update magically, right? But no, it's running all the queries. And it takes forever to do that. 73, 75, 80. Okay, there we go. Success. And hold it. Did it just work? This is like when you take your car to the car shop and you're like, yeah, it's making this funny noise. And they're like, well, tell me what noise this is. And then you're like, well, whatever. But pretty soon everybody's going to have electric cars and we won't have that anymore. Okay, cool. So then I go Kent, submit. We get our ... Maybe I should change the ... to something more like standoutish, like loading. Okay, man. So, okay, let's go ahead and we'll save something in here. Instead of ... we'll have it say loading. Saving. There we go. Save that. This is outrageous. This is it never works. Okay, but in any case, I'm glad it's working. Good job, Gatsby team. But please, can you help me figure out why anytime I change this text here, I have to rerun all of the queries and that takes so long? Other than this, I'm like super happy with Gatsby, by the way. It's awesome. I love it. It's fantastic. It's just, I don't know why this is so annoying. Okay, so let's get rid of the to-do. Come back here. And gotta wait for the queries to rerun. And okay, partway through the queries, it actually does update. This is actually the best experience I've had developing with Gatsby in a long time. So it's, you know how they can't tell you the position of an electron at any point in time because measuring where that electron is affects where it is, like it goes somewhere else. That's what this is. But go ahead and pull it down, try it, and see why it takes not only so long to build in the first place or get my development environment going, but also so long to rerun those queries. And why is it rerunning all the queries anytime I save even one change to one file? And why is it making so many thumbnails? Because inquiring minds want to know. Okay, I'm done complaining about Gatsby. Let's get back to our blog post here. Okay, so what up, Yang Gang? Pleasant. Oh, I don't say that word, but hi there. Okay, I almost said it because you spelled it with a PH. You almost had me. Don't do that. Okay, with those kinds of situations, you typically need to wrap that in act or async act yourself. And let's do ... and ... Okay, and actually, I'm going to go back here, and we are going to make it say loading instead of just ... Where is that? Here we go. Except it wasn't loading, it was saving. And in my component, I didn't make it capital, so we're going to make it capital. And then in my test, I didn't test that either. So we want saving. And boom, boom, boom. And you know what, we'll just, who cares about the dots? User doesn't care about the dots, do they? My test won't either. Okay, so let's just make sure, yep, still passing, still got the warning. Let's get rid of that warning because I don't want that in my CI. Okay, then here we come, back down here. There we go. With those kinds of situations, you typically need to wrap that in act or async act yourself. But for React testing library has async utilities that are wrapped in act automatically. So let's write our test that so let's improve our test to so yeah, let's first thank the React team for letting us know that we didn't test everything that's happening in our component. And then, thanks React. And then, React team, yep. And then let's add an emoji here. Okay. Then let's add to our test something. What is the word I'm looking for? I want to add an assertion to our test to cover the use case we forgot the first time around. All right, and coming up here, actually, let's just grab it from over here. Down, boom, JSX. Okay, and we'll just boom, boom. And then this is the line. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here, let's save it. This is the way I want to do it. I want to come down here, and I want it to be there. Just like, boom, there it is. Wow, this never happens. This has been like months since I've been able to enjoy this nice experience. Maybe there was like a recent update. I don't know, but this is nice. Okay, so we're on line 12. Yeah, I don't want to have to count those lines, but there are some blog posts where I have like 30 lines and I have to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's real. And I realize I could probably do minus and stuff, but I'm not that smart. 25, 225, 226. I would say that's 11, but I'm off by 1 errors. Have you any guidance on using find queries versus wait and wait for element? Yes, I have, Eli. Try to use the find elements. Absolutely try to use those. And maybe I should change this to say saved at the end. But I feel like that would be something that you would typically not miss when you're testing the first time. And so that's why I didn't have this. But yeah, if you did, then you would do a find and that would be the same. Or you would avoid the act error in that case as well. Okay, so yeah, line 12 will be highlighted. Let's save that. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow, that was actually pretty good. Very nice. Okay, so wait for element to be removed. There it is. And here, and actually, let's find our ... The saving ... That's what I was looking for. Okay, cool. Great. So now we're waiting for the saving text to be removed, and that ensures that the saving text appears in the first place and is removed when saving is complete. You'll notice that this test passes whether we're using class components or function components. +1 point for avoiding implement no, we'll capitalize it. Implementation details, because I'm gonna do a blog post. Imp beats. Want to get that URL. And we'll do a relative to the root. Testing implementation details. But without that extra line, we only get the warning with function components, not class components. The reason for this is because the React team couldn't reasonably add this warning for class components without creating a ton of new warnings for people and their existing tests. So while the warning would probably help people find and fix bugs like this, the decision was made to only apply it to hooks, so people would get the warning as they develop and test new components. The takeaway: +1 point or using hooks or function components over class. Function over class components. There we go. And it's not stateless functional components. That's wrong. If you're using the word stateless functional components, that never made sense, and it especially doesn't make sense now. So stop using those words. It is function component. That's what it is. Okay, cool. So, and Google thought that I was talking to it. Anytime I say, okay, cool, it's like, oh, are you talking to me? Because I guess that sounds similar to okay, Google. Yeah. All right, so let me just see if there was anything else I missed. Probably want to link to the act utility. Yeah, probably just right down here at the end. You can read more about React's act utility here. But again, you shouldn't have to use it very often. Let's just grab all this. It's built into and using that. Yeah, those. Any other time should be covered by. Remember, if you're still experiencing the act warning, then most likely the reason is after your test completes, like in our previous example. Okay, and here we had this course thing where I was loading the course and whatnot. Or here. I'm going to keep this example around. Let's take a look at another example here. And we're just going to grab the same example. This example is borrowed from my blog post. Write fewer, longer tests. I wanted to link between these two anyway, so. And we're going to change from loading. Yeah, we're going to update the example. Not going to be loading anymore. It's going to be status idle. Thank you for that. Status pending. Status fulfilled and rejected. If status is loading, I'll say loading. Otherwise, status rejected. And we'll do that. Status fulfilled. Okay, cool. Make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, cool. So then I'll come up here and grab this again. and stick it right there. Okay, here's an example suffering from this problem. Okay, what not to do. Pocket with build course thing. Build course. And green, get my role, and we'll import React from React, and we'll import render and screen from testing library React. And let's go over here, render. Okay. Bring in screen now. Yeah, I kind of want to leave this one here because it shows what like so many people do is they like reassign variables. So I'm going to leave that one as it is, even though that's kind of maybe a little bit on the cheating side, but yeah, that's okay. Okay, so then we've got our course. Okay, I'm just like bringing in so much stuff I don't want to bother with, but we'll bring all this in. Okay, cool. Okay, so wait for the promise to resolve. Use React testing libraries. Wait. Actually, rather than wait, okay, yeah. Green. Okay. Combine this assertion with or yeah, and this assertion or yeah, put this assertion in another test premise of my article thing. I've got this in my clipboard. Okay, let's see. I'm kind of thinking I want to show examples of all these. To see how to this or to read more about this, please read that other article. This is the third time I'm linking to this, but I want people to go read it. It will explain things better. Let's start adding a couple of sections here. The act error, the dreaded act 2. How to fix the act error. Warning. Should be warning. Okay. Let's add other use cases for act. I think I want to move these. If you're using all the async, React testing library, async utilities, and are waiting for your component to settle for finishing your test, and you still hitting act. Oh, it's funny, like I'm typing behind my head. My bad. Boop. Warnings. Then you may consider, or and here are a few other times you need to use act manually. Then you may need to use act manually. Here are a few examples. Okay, JSX. Seeing just fake timers. I feel like I had an example of this somewhere. I know, nope, I guess that's it. Okay. Well, I've got one in the bookshelf app, but I want something that's a little simpler. Shoot. Thought I had another example. Okay, so let's do what if you're like polling an API or something? So maybe I should write like an actual test so that I make sure it actually works. So we're gonna test only interval polling backend on an interval. Okay, we're gonna come up here, get rid of this. Okay, so this function component, yeah, it'll show the order status. Order ID. There we go. And then React, use effect. Where's the use interval thing from Dan? Use interval and wait, no, for real? Come on, overreacted. Yeah. Oh, that was it. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, where's the TLDR? Use interval. Here it is. Gonna grab all that. And see, this is why React. Because then I'd have to go and update my import statement for all this stuff, but I don't want to. I don't want to. Okay. So I mean, my callback I want called on when it's not a custom hook, it actually often doesn't need as much help. And I'm not going to change my delay. That's going to be hard coded to 1000. So once every second. And if delay is not equal to null, that will never be the case. Tick, we're going to call check status order ID. Then get rid of all this, I think. And yeah, what we really care about is the order key. And we'll say let current equal true. And in our cleanup, we'll say current equals false. And that. And then if current and set state status fulfilled and data. Okay, and then let's get our state. State. And I did it, didn't I? Yeah, I destructured right in there. You know what? I don't care. You do what you want. I do what I want. I'm writing this blog post. I don't think that's that confusing. I think it makes a lot of sense. Okay. I feel like a gatekeeper right now. Should I just call this state and then destructure that there? I think this is fine. Okay, so we've got our error and then for that's and we want to do if current set state status rejected for you. And here we want to have data. We're going to call this D. And this is going to be null. No. I like that order better. Okay, cool. So then, Dan, can you write this code for me? Thank you, Dan. So check status. Oh, the check status function could change. All right, fine. React. Yeah, I'm basically I'm writing what Dan wrote that I copied and probably should have just kept. Check status ref that React use effect check status ref dot current equals check status. You know what? It comes to us from a module, then we don't have to do all that rigmarole. So let's do that. API.js and export. Let's check status. Oh, new error. This needs to be mocked. I just like function declarations. Don't ask me why. And I like exports all in one place. I like them separate from the implementation. Maybe I'll write a blog post about why I do both of those things eventually. Okay, so in any case, we've got our check status now coming from a module. So we can jest.mock API. We have import check status from API. We'll come down here and we'll say check status.mock and mock resolved value. Be status shipped. There you go. Or received. Order. There we go. Nice. And then here we go. We don't need that in there anymore, just the order ID. And then the order status can be return div order status data status. Got a question. Yang Gang, what up? Go Iowa. What? If you or anyone you know or love is in Iowa, reach out to him today and be like, hey, can I help you vote somehow? I know so many people in Iowa, like it matters a lot. But life is hard and you got babies to watch at home and stuff. So maybe help them find a babysitter or something so they can go caucus for Andrew Yang. I mean, they can caucus for whoever they want, but Yang is the man. All right, status order. Yeah, you know what? We'll just do status, and this can be human readable. I think people can figure out that that's normally not what you do, but okay, save all that garbage. And yeah, then we can say okay, now we've got multiple statuses, I don't know. Const order status equals status idle. Or if it's idle or if it's loading or pending. And otherwise, if status is error, then we'll say error message. Otherwise, oh, I mixed it up. Otherwise, we'll say status, status equals error. Otherwise, if the status equals fulfilled, then it'll be data status. Otherwise, no, that should never happen. And instead of status, maybe it should be order status. That'll make it a little easier. And maybe we can put all this in here. Some people might scream at that. Status is idle or pending, then ... Status is error, then error message. Status is fulfilled, data order status. Otherwise, null. I rest my case. It's very readable. Off-topic question. You tweeted a long time ago about choosing MobX over Redux for state management and was curious about more of an explanation. It's off-topic, so no worries. I won't go too deep into this, but I was just investigating MobX, and if I had to choose today and like somebody had a gun in my head, whoa, that's terrible. But if I just absolutely had to choose right now today, then I would choose MobX, because from my research, it looked like it impacted people's behavior less, and the impact resulted in less, not only boilerplate, but just like it gave people more just ease in co-location. I don't know. I don't know too much more to say about that, but that's that. But I don't have to choose today, and I probably wouldn't choose either one. I'm going to give a talk about this actually in April, I think, at Reactathon. So it's going to be fun. Okay, cool. So now we need to render this order status. Return div, or no, not return. We're going to do render order status. And I'm going to move this out, actually. Okay. We'll render the order status with the order ID of 1, 2, 3, ABC. And ABC 1, 2, 3, ABC, simple as. Okay. And then we're going to, let's put this in a span, actually. That way we can select it specifically. And you'd probably want to like style it differently or something. So we render it, and that's successful. Cool. At this point, I actually feel like we should be getting. Oh no, we don't. Here's the reason we don't get an act warning right here. So we kick off the request. That happens in a promise and stuff, or we set the interval, and then when we clean up, we are we're unmounting the component. So therefore, our cleanup method gets called, and so we clear the interval. Now, if I change current to false, that doesn't make a difference because we've cleared the interval. If I turn off clearing the interval, then we actually get a memory leak, but just, I think, exits the process, so we never get to the point where that's a problem. But anyway, we have this interval. We want to make sure that as we tick, we're going to be setting state properly. So let's do just use fake timers, just use real timers. Okay, I like to surround it. Use fake timers, use real timers, and then my code that uses that stuff is in between. And yeah, actually, what I want to do here is this will be in a separate test file. Here, let's do that. No, it's fine. Okay, let's do. Come on. Where's my cursor? All right. Timers.js. Put this in here. Get rid of all this garbage. And we'll put this in here. Get rid of that. And probably won't need that, but we will need that. and we won't need that. Okay, save that. Go timers. Okay, we can get rid of that. So then I'm going to say before all, say use fake timers. After all, we're going to use real timers. Actually not totally necessary, but because Jess will run these in isolation, or it'll run them in their own thread. But if you run them serially, then it won't run in its own thread, and then your tests can start mucking with each other. So that's why we're going to do that. Okay, so we're going to render this thing, and then we're going to say just advance, or run, yeah, advance timers by time, 1 second. And then we want to expect check status to have been called with our order ID. So let's make our order ID ABC 123. Thank you, Prettier, for fixing that for me. Order ID, and called times once in this time. And let's make sure it's called 0 times from the get-go. Save that, and boom, act warning. That's what I'm talking about. And check this out. Here's how we solve it. Act, we can pull an act directly from here. No. Hold on a second. That should fail. Yep. That is unexpected. It should. Huh. It could be we advance timers by time, and that covers us. Oh, actually, we need to say set state status ending right here. Data is null, error is null. Let's come over. You know what? Let's do use reducer. And there we go. Then I don't have to do anything other than what I want to update. Nice. Okay, but yeah, so we're getting, this one's being taken care of. It is this one that's not. So we need to use an async thing here to make sure that we're displaying. Here, let's do green get by text. We'll expect that to be in the document, and let's ignore case. That doesn't matter, but we just always do that. Okay, we're not getting anything, and the reason status is idle, or status is pending. There we go. Okay, so we expect that to be in the document, and it shouldn't have been called. And then we act, and then we expect green dot get by text. Oh, this will be find by text. Status. Fake order status. Okay, whatever. Order status. Order received. Order status. We're going to await that. Oh, and this needs to be async. I'm starting to get this feeling that this isn't going to work very well. I'm thinking maybe I should just test the use interval hook. Yeah, kind of sort of thinking that. But we'll see. So find by text. I mean, this is a fine example, but it's just a little more nuanced, and so it might be distracting. Okay, to be in the document. There we go. So, and if we don't have this in act, we get the warning. So we have two things that are going on here. We have one, this set state. We're taking care of that one with our act around advanced timers by time. And then we have the other one that's happening here when our order status works out nicely. So if we were to, for example, get rid of that, then we wouldn't need this. See? Make sense? And the reason for that is because we're not making any update that's happening as a result of that timers being advanced. But because we do make an update, then we do need that. So maybe this will work. This might work. It'll be all right. So how about we say let order status order pending, and once and then we'll advance it again and put this here. Okay. This will be order pending, and then this will be, oh, you know what? That doesn't do us any good. No, that's useless. Back. Okay, cool. Good. So here's another example. Going back here to our blog post now. And we're going to put this right here. Let's say you have a component that's using an interval, or that's checking against an API on an interval. And here's that component, JSX. Okay. So we've handled all the edge cases and cleaned up after ourselves nicely. But when we write our test for it, we're going to get the act warning again. I keep on doing that. We've got one right there. So let's get our test. Okay. And actually we're going to want we're using fake timers because we don't want to wait a full second for this test to run. Advance the timers by a second to kick off the first request. Okay, cool. The act warning here is happening because of this line. And that line is, I need to have a JSX shortcut, or I should probably just make that default to JSX. What's prettier gonna do to this? Oh, good, nothing. One, two, three, four. The tick function is happening outside of the of React's all stack, so it's unsure whether this interaction with the component is properly tested. Because React testing library does not have a utility for just fake timers. And so we need to wrap the timer advancement in act ourselves like this. And we'll just grab this thing. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. And now the React act warning goes away. Okay, cool. So then number 2, using imperative handle. This, you may not have even heard of this hook, and if you have, it's even less likely you not have run into this but let's take and let's I don't like using the word look or see or anything, because like, what if you're a blind user reading this stuff? I don't want to make it feel excluded or anything, so try to think of a different word. But let's, normally I say check out, or read through an example of act warnings being up when testing components that use this. Mother of ternary. Yeah, I love ternaries. Wow, how far back are you watching? I wrote that forever ago. All the way up here. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? If the status is idle or pending, then show ... Otherwise, if it's error, then show the error message. Otherwise, if it's a filled, then show the data order status. Otherwise, don't show anything. I think that makes total sense. I don't know. Okay. Use this hook. You know what? This is less likely, so we're going to put this as number 3. We'll put this as number 2. 3 things. That's because you only run into this if you're calling methods directly on a component. Outside of React's stack, which do internal state updates, and you're outside of React. Okay, so for this one, you use imperative handle.js, copy this to get some of that boilerplate out of the way. Oh, and actually I want back here. Oh, actually, we can get rid of this. Don't need that. And okay. Very good. Okay, so use imperative handle. So an example of this would be, I don't know, what do the docs show for this? React use imperative handle. I have one where it like scrolls down to the bottom and stuff, but those are just like interacting with the DOM directly rather than updating state. So let's see what the docs say about use imperative handle, if they've got a good example we could use. Yeah, see, this is just manipulating the DOM directly. So I'm gonna have like a really super contrived example. Counter, imperative counter, and we'll have the count, or no, we'll just use state, count, set count, start at 0, turn, div, the count is count, and then React use imperative handle. Oh, and we need a ref. Hold on a second. I don't use this very often. Yeah, so you have to use it with board ref. So we get our props and ref, and we pass the ref first, and then we pass a function which returns an object of properties that we want applied to the ref, and we're going to say increment and decrement here, and increment is going to say set count 3 + 1, and decrement set count p - 1. There we go. And get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And we need those. I'm gonna get rid of these. And get rid of that. Test. And call imperative methods on counter component. Okay, we're gonna render our imperative counter with a ref. And that's ref equals react create ref. That's a ref. Here, and actually let's call this, whoops, counter ref. There we go. And then counter ref dot increment, and that's going to give me, oh, we gotta go to imperative. There we go. Yeah, create ref. Oh, right. We're gonna, this ref is actually context. That's the API for function components. You get your props, and you get context, unless you say board ref. All right, no function assign. I should turn that off. No func assign. Just in general, except it's not func. Or yes, it is. No func assign. Oh, need a comma. There you go. Save that. Okay. Increment. We need current. Current. There we go. There's our act warning. Yeah, I knew it would work. And we're gonna have decrement. We're gonna get it twice. Oh, snap. Snappity snap. Okay, so then we're also gonna want green dot get by text 0 expect I just always want to show people this is the way that you use these things. You just use the regex. Sometimes you can use the string, but just Try to use the regex. In this case, if it were me, I'd probably just use the string because like count is. But yeah, let's just do that. It's don't want to get pedantic about that. Is that how you say that word? Pedantic? Yeah. Count is 0 to be in the document. Boom. Okay, cool. And then it should be 1. And then it should be 0 again. Test is passing. We're getting a terrible warning. Fix that warning with act. And this will be increment. Save that. Goodbye warnings. Very good. All right. So here's our blog post, JSX. Pretty contrived example, but you should be double thinking your decisions if you anytime you use this hook. Anyway, okay, cool. And then we'll come down here, grab the test. Okay, actually, let's close that off. So here's a contrived, here, let's grab this. Here's how you might test this. And let's just grab all the tests. Grab all this. And boom, import imperative counter from imperative. There we go. And get rid of our act for now. Get our act not together. What? Okay. Let's give us some white space. Put that right there. Put that right there. Okay. Put this in our conclusion. All right, so then you'll get an act warning on those increment and decrement calls because they're happening outside the React call stack. So let's wrap them in act. Okay, we're just going to copy this right here. And we got, save that. Let's just see what happens. Go to my blog here. Boom. This is getting to be a pretty long blog post. Okay, so then we've got line 13 and 10. Except let's do 10 and 13. Okay. Wait, and it popped up. Look at that. Okay, so then just got something to be in the DOM has priority over document. How does that work? I don't know. I don't know how it works. Maybe that's the order they're in the TypeScript definitions. So if you want to check that out, and if that's the case, then try to change the order and see if that makes a difference. To be in the DOM, we shouldn't be using, so because that one's deprecated. Okay. So yeah, we just need to wrap this in act. And this one also. And there we go. Like magic, it will work. Okay, let's come back up here. I skipped when testing custom hooks. So let's do custom hooks.js. Import Actually, we're going to do lots of the same stuff we're doing here. So I'm just going to paste that all right there. And then we're going to have a function, use count. And let's say, return count increment decrement spell decrement. Yeah, okay, decrement. There we go. Let's grab these. Const that thing equals an arrow function. Boom! Look at that. Marvelous. Get rid of all that. And I need to add a new dependency. So we're going to npm install as a dev dependency testing library React hooks. And you know what I just realized? I don't think that I need user event right here. So once this is done and saved, I'm going to move it down. And I don't think I have to rerun install. Play it out. And we're done. Now let's move this down. In library, QRS TUV. There we go. Save that. Move this over. And we're going to import from testing library React hooks render hook. And then we we're render hook, and it's a callback with use count. That's going to get me back current or result. And we'll expect result.count to be 0. And both these expect result.count to be that number. And then for each of these, and actually I think it's result.current. Current. Look at that. Boom. Save. And let's run custom hook. Can't find React test render. Oh, I need to install that. Dev dependency React test renderer. We don't need screen, or in fact any of this stuff, because we can get act from React hooks. Okay, and we got our act warning, which is not expected actually. We are wrapping an act. Oh, wrong act. What? Boo! This sounds like a bug. React hooks, testing, library. Go to the source. Hey, I have seen you when testing component. You were adding some custom attributes. I expect is that. Yeah, hey there, Christian. So here's probably the best thing for you to read right now. Which query? There you go. Go take a look at this, and that will give you a guide. You'll notice that the get by test ID, which is the specific attribute that you're talking about, is your last hope. Okay, there are lots of other things we're going to use first. And actually, very soon, get by alt text is going to be the #1 recommended thing outside of, I guess, label text. Yeah, because we're going to, well, we actually may do a different query. Anyway, look forward to that. It'll be cool. Okay, but back to React hooks, testing library. Let's go to source. React test renderer act is coming from there. Huh. Okay. I'm thinking that we're getting the wrong. Oh, no, it works. Magic! Hooray! I can't really explain it. I'm guessing some sort of caching issue or something, but it's working now, so that's good. Okay, good. So let's snag this doodad, stick it in here. And actually, there's no JSX in here, so JavaScript it is. And so you'll get an act warning with custom hooks when you call functions that are returned from your custom hook, which result in state updates. Here's a simple example. Move this there. And why not? We'll import React, and we'll export use count. Go. And then we'll import use count from. Okay. And then we're getting squiggly. Why are we getting a squiggly? Okay. And we want to rename this test. So can call increment, increment and updates the count. And paste that. I don't want to type that twice. I don't have that many characters left in my fingers. All right, so then we get render hook. Here we'll use thing library React hooks to validate our hook works. And boom, bam, bam. Actually, let's just copy this and paste it. And on the first one, we'll get rid of the act. And that. And on this one, it's 1, 2, highlight 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 11. Did we do some space here? Do it that way. Okay. Great. So with that, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10, 11, 12. 9 and 12. Okay. When we call increment and the increment and decrement functions from our hook, that triggers a state, and because we are not in the React, we're going to get an act warning. So let's wrap that in act. You'll notice that we're pulling act from a library React hooks, and that's because it simply re-exports the act from React. So you don't need to. Thanks. Nice, right? Got another comment. Oh, I went to do something else, and the stream resumed like 30 minutes behind real time, apparently, although I was watching live. Weird. Sorry about that. No worries. We're good. Okay. me kind of skip over the imports, but they're kind of important. Important. LOL. So let's pick out our timers. We're gonna need to pull this in. Now this is gonna be on the wrong line, so 13, 14, 15, 16. And we're also gonna do line 2. Get that act. Oh, shoot, you know what? We also want this just mock. Up here. And right here. That was 19? Maybe? We'll find out. Notice that we can pull React's act utility DOMs act testing utility directly from thing library React because it's simply re-exported React. Cool, right? Not in that order. Cool. All right. And all of our tests are passing. Let's just make sure we turn this on. I don't know why we have that in there. Okay, sweet. This blog post is going to be great. People are going to love this thing. Hopefully you have a better understanding and appreciation, for React's sometimes annoying but always right act utility or testing utility. And the next time you get a warning, you're able to identify source and fix it more quickly. Good luck. Again, most of the time you shouldn't actually have to use actually. Thanks to React test queries, async utilities, but when you do, you'll know why it's needed and fixes the problem. There we go. Good luck. Great. So I need to make sure that my highlights are highlighting the correct lines. And okay, there we go. Those are go to the very top, look for our highlights. MDX, what magic is this? Go Google this thing. MDX, it is amazing. Okay, it's not a car. What? There we go. It's MDX.js. That's what you're looking for. It's awesome. It's what allows me to do this in my blog post. And submit. What? Saving. Nice. Saving. And it never goes away. Oh no. You know what? Actually, I've got a let's see. Renderer. No. Oh shoot, what do I call that component? Oh, default components. Here we go. layout. Is that what I call this thing? I don't think that's what I do in other files. Let's just try it. Okay, so here's the real test. I've been complaining about Gatsby, and then it turns out that I was wrong, not Gatsby. Oh no, what is... We don't want to do this. I don't want to do this one. It is, need to, what is another blog post where I go, or render something? Okay. And import, or, go. Rendered, there you go. Yeah, that is the layout component that I had. Oh well. Eventually I should think about, I don't know, making some sort of abstraction that I use everywhere. This will just separate things a little bit better, I think. So, your username form. You know what I'm gonna do here is in my components, I'm going to stick this in div. Make it block together. Okay, cool. So then we're gonna do rendered. And we'll come down here and put this in rendered as well. Okay, let's see what happens. There, that looks nicer. Int. Saving and gone. Int. Saving and it never goes away. Oh no, it's broken. But see, now we have a little bit more space right there. That's what that was all about. Okay. Cool. So, yeah, I was double checking that highlights are in the right spot. And yep, I knew it. I knew I was wrong. Off by one error. Okay, 19. There you are. 18. 5. 3, 2, 1. Sweet. Okay. And let's put 1, 9, 2 there as well. And there it is. Right now. And now. I saved it, right? Is that the right one? Yeah. Fresh. Boo. There it is. Okay. Good. Very good. Do. Here, actually, let's add a link to the async utilities. Okay, sweet. This is so good. I could probably make like 12 egghead videos out of this. Maybe that's what I'll do this afternoon. Commit, add, wrapped inact warning blog post. You know what? I'm actually not going to publish this until after I get those egghead videos in. I'm pretty sure. Oh, wait, not published. Rats. Okay, fine. Remove git index lock. Git commit, or I have my commit. No, fine. Oh no. Something happened. User event. Okay. npm install dev dependency testing library user event. And React hooks. I messed something up when I edited that manually. Okay. And testing library React hooks. Okay, sweet. This is almost done. And then I'm going to go grab something to eat. And then I'll come back and I'll probably record myself recording the egghead videos. I don't know, why not? So if you want to watch those, then you're welcome to. And yeah, otherwise, hope you have an awesome day. But yeah, let me just commit this again. Rats. Oh, for goodness sake. And PM ID, bam. You can't hear me drumming around on my desk because I have a noise gate on OBS, and so me drumming around on my desk doesn't make enough noise unless I go really loud. But if I just do it soft like this, you don't hear that. All right, sweet. Here we go. And commit all the things with that. Running our pre-commits, just making sure that our tests all pass, and yeah, nice. So now let's push that. And I'll come back this afternoon, record those egghead videos, get them stuck on there so that people can experience this blog post in video form or blog post form, whatever they want. It's their choice. And yeah, and then we'll get this published and I'll add it to my email newsletter thing for tomorrow. And it's going to be awesome. I'm actually really happy about this. I've spent, how long has this stream been? I don't know, like all morning, just sitting here doing nothing but streaming. I probably should have gotten up every now and then just to, stretch out my body a little bit, but I did not, and I'll probably regret that. But hopefully this was fun and interesting, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, and maybe you'll see me this afternoon. Okay? Peace out. Bye.